Happy Monday, everyone. This is Martha with Nature Niche, and I thought it might be fun this week to share my experience participating in the Audubon's Christmas Bird Count over the weekend. I had the pleasure of being part of the Midland, um, Michigan's Circle. So, just a reminder, I talked about the history and some of the logistics behind the Christmas bird count way back a couple years ago in Monday with Martha number 182. And it is a really fun outdoor holiday tradition if you're looking to get some birding in at the end of the year. So, it happens in these designated count circles, and data is collected across an area, a circular area that is 15 miles in diameter. And compilers are in charge of those circles and can hold them on a date anywhere between December 14th and January 5th. And so a date for sampling is set each year, and that compiler coordinates section leaders to cover different areas within that 15-mile diameter circle. So these are some excellent birders I had the pleasure of driving around with. Our section leader, Ingrid, was very familiar with the bird habitats and the likely birds to be seen. We just had a lot of fun in our vehicle marked with a bird watching signage, which is a good idea. But here's a look. We were doing the southwest quadrant of the Midland, Michigan Circle, and we sort of marked out and kept track of the time and the distance that of effort looking for birds. And then they use a 4-letter code for the different bird species we were seeing, and we'd count the total number seen at once in a given area. And if we were backtracking along roads that we had already surveyed, we basically only looked for new or additional species. So it was a great chance to practice my birding skills. Usually in the car, you have a very experienced birder who has done the Christmas count in that particular section before, somebody recording, highlighting roads, and writing down species counts. And then everybody in the car is looking in all directions, trying to cite all sorts of different bird species. So I got plenty of practice with my hand-eye binocular coordination. There's definitely a good skill set there, and it needs a lot of practice to get good at that, to bring things into focus, to see things and then find them with your binoculars. Besides identifying by sight, we'd also stop the car and play some recordings or just listen and bird by ear. You can also count birds that way, pick up new species by listening. So I had fun using Merlin's sound recording part of their app to help me learn and identify bird sounds. Plus, being with experienced birders, you learn a lot about what they key into, what they hear, what they see to help know what bird is what. Some section leaders also move on foot and hike trails, cover certain parks, nature centers, things like that. I know part of the Midland Circle happens at Chippewa Nature Center, and those trails we were able to stop on some more public properties or pull off to the side of the road, get out of the car, walk a little bit, and listen. The Christmas Bird Count is the longest running community science bird project. It's in its 124th year this year. And the data is collected in a systematic way over those same areas. And it contributes to bird conservation across the Americas. And to keep it scientifically valid, you have to use, certain methodology and track the sampling effort. So the section leaders keep track of birds per party hour, how many people are looking. It was a nice opportunity just to kind of be familiar with some areas close to home and get to see different, creekside habitats. Roads cross all sorts of habitats. We were looking at open agricultural land and farm fields, as well as rights of way that intersected the roads, paying special attention to ditch areas. Sometimes you flush up a great blue heron or other more aquatic birds, and lots of woodland and shrubby forested habitat, as well as bird feeding areas from the road in residential areas. So I thought I would share just some of the things we saw so you can get a feel for what it might be like. This is a mourning dove perched along the power lines. We saw a lot of blue jays. That was fun to see them in groups. Here are several perched high on some spruces looking around, but they were definitely one of the more numerous birds we saw on the count. Plenty of crows, both perched up in trees and out in farm fields. So we just took count in a given area of what we were seeing there. You'll also get to see waterfowl. This was a flock of over 50 Canada geese flying over. So it was fun to try to count them quickly before they flew past. We also saw upland game birds. This was a flock of wild turkeys in a utility clearing along the road. Did see some invasive species, recorded those as well. This is a flock of European starlings. We saw English or house sparrows, which are also invasive. This is a male and female perched in some small trees. We saw these a lot around residential bird feeders for sure. But then we'd also pick up neat native sparrows like this American tree sparrow hanging out in this viburnum shrub. So it was nice to see them. And I have to say, sparrow ID at a distance from a car with flat gray lighting is pretty tricky, much different than looking from your bird feeder. We were also lucky to see some really beautiful eastern bluebirds. There's a small flock here fluttering around in the shrubs. And you can see this beautiful male eastern bluebird hanging out. It looks like maybe eating some of the fruits off some invasive common buckthorn. We also got to see lots of raptors, practice my hawk and other raptor ID. This was a red-tailed hawk sitting on top of the utility pole.
He's moving right across the sky up here.
Right here. So that little clip was one of two red-shouldered hawks that flew by. They were getting mobbed by some crows, American crows. So that was really cool to see. Red-shouldered hawks used to be state threatened. They were recently downlisted, but here's another one we saw perched. So awesome to see them that close.
You just come closer.
The red tail that was sitting over here?
What flies like that?
I feel like he's just hovering.
A rough-legged hawk.
Yeah.
Oh.
He's big too. Has he got wrist marks and a little white band on his underside of its
Yeah,
tail?
there's a white band on the underside of the wing.
Yeah, yeah.
You can get a little closer. He doesn't seem like he's going anywhere.
That is weird.
He's big like a harrier.
Yep.
Don't they have a white butt, don't they?
Yeah, but we're looking at the head, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
hovering in place. Do you want to go up?
So that clip is some very interesting hawk behavior that I haven't witnessed before, but this rough-legged hawk is what we decided on based on underside wing characteristics and tail size and patterning, is hovering over and hunting over this field, and actually ended up diving down trying to get something eventually. And in the same field, we also saw a female northern harrier. Here's that rough-legged hawk posing nicely for us at the top of the spruces, so we could get a good look with the binoculars and confirm that identification when it wasn't flying. At the end of the day, a lot of the participants, whether they were watching feeders within the circle or had participated in either walking or driving in vehicles across different sections of the circle, got together and did a informal species tally of what was seen for the day. So that's what the dry erase board is about here. We for sure saw over 70 species within the 15-mile diameter Midland, Michigan circle. So it was just fun to swap birding stories, hear about folks' different sightings. Okay, so I had an absolute blast on the Audubon Christmas Bird Count, and I wanted to wrap by introducing you to the local circle compilers.
My name is Ryan Diedzik, and I compile the Tittabawassee Valley Christmas Bird Count, which is over Sanford and Wixom Lakes. It is occurring on December 19th, coming up here, Tuesday, December 19th, and it's usually around that time every year, so we are always welcome more participants.
And my name is Val Tribucchi, and we had Midland's Christmas Bird Count today. And, we had over 30 participants, and we have our tally right here. This is informal, so we're at least 70 birds with some count week birds, but not all data is in. And for the Christmas Bird Count in general, this is the 124th year in North America. It's the longest citizen science volunteer project in North America.
My name is Jacob Gettler, and I am the Bay City Count compiler. The count will be held on Saturday, December 30th this year, and new participants are also always welcome.
Yeah, so come support citizen science and practice your birding skills.